All right, Music Posse. Let's put a pause on it so I can bring in my co-host Rick Batista in today's live stream of Real Living in Chicagoland. So let's give Rick, hey, Music Posse, let's give him a nice warm welcome. Here we go. Here we go. Hey, how you like my new addition to welcome you into the conversation, Telling Music Posse? Hey.
I might get used to that. I can only enter rooms when I hear an applause.
It's called your walk on a vibe.
Yeah.
Right.
I have my walking song is the Bee Gees song.
Well, it's either the audience applause, or I don't think you want the other song, which is These Boots Are Made for Walking. Nah, don't think that's as appropriate.
No.
So Rick, hey, let's jump right into it. But before we do, I know before we started, I had asked you the question. I said, hey, Rick, have you, like me and maybe a lot of other people, have you had to turn off your heat because you thought spring was right around the corner, summer's right around the corner, and then you had to turn it back on?
Yeah, it's been. This past winter was an actual winter that we've had that we really had.
I know.
In about 5 or 6 years in Chicagoland. So
I know.
It's been an interesting one.
Yeah, I've had to turn off the heat a couple of times because our temps those few days were running up into the high 70s, thinking that's gonna stay, and then lo and behold, roller coaster ride. Then we get the frost, the freeze. And like even this morning, before starting the live stream, I was outside walking the dogs, pulling in the garbage tote, the recycled totes back in, and it's chilly out there.
Yeah, gotta do the gardening with scarf and gloves on. Yeah.
Exactly. So this weather, audience members, it is absolutely defying logic, at least for Rick and myself here in the greater Chicago metro area. And guess what, Rick? Guess what? It's kind of like the business of real estate. It's defying logic, is it not?
Yeah. Chicagoland market, it's overall compared to a lot of markets across the United States, it's been stable. I mean, even in the pandemic, when we saw our level of insanity, still didn't see just the bunker stuff that we saw in some other markets. It got crazy here, but I think the Midwest has always been a good gauge for a lot of things in the country.
Yeah.
But overall stable comparatively, but still many levels of interesting.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
True. So with that said, because I think I prepared you for this, let's talk about this nice, interesting property you are selling right now. Audience members, let me throw it up on the wall for you. Here we go. Talk to us about this listing, Rick.
Well, I can share what I can share. I've been saying my prayers and stuff, and hopefully by the end of this week it'll be officially under contract. We've been it's been down to talking to one top prospective buyer.
Nice.
And we're just working on some details. So I should know more later on today, and then
Oh,
after we close, I'll be
okay.
able to share some more details. But this is a property that is in Roscoe Village proper, because we realtors like to expand borders as much as possible, and Roscoe Village and other neighborhoods can be like 2 miles out when you're nowhere near the actual neighborhood.
Okay.
But this is a property that was built. I've seen conflicting information, but I think 1901 is approximately the year that it was built.
Okay.
Very, very interesting property. And overall it's in good condition.
Okay.
But just given the size of the lot and the zoning, which is RT4, it makes it a much more attractive and appealing opportunity.
So you teased us there. The size of the lot. What is that supposed to mean? Come on, tell us.
So, I mean, the size of the lot. With the size of the lot, you can do more, right? You can build more house. And the zoning means you can do more things than just a single family home. So with this opportunity, number one, you have a city park right next door. You've got a condo building on the other side.
Okay.
So chances are you're not going to have any neighbors except kids coming to play at the park in the warmer months. And with the size of the lot and the zoning, long story short, you can put up to a 5,904 square foot property. So it's either basically a mansion, or a mini mansion, some might call it. Or you can build a multifamily property. You can put 4, potentially 5 condo units there, which, given what you can sell that size of a single family home for versus 4 condos, and I think 4 condos are probably more fruitful than 5.
I'm thinking that as well.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a project nearby in Addison, technically right across the street from Roscoe Village, still in the North Center neighborhood, 8005.
Okay.
But I think it was just last year, the total project, the resale project, is 4 condo units, sold for like just under 4.7.
Wow.
So marketing this property has been a very interesting experience.
I bet.
And again, I'll share more once we close. But every type of buyer has their walkaway price and whatever it's worth to them.
That's
so
true.
Somebody who might actually want to live in the property. I mean, the property, it's not I wouldn't say it's a tear down. It's certainly salvageable. It's in good condition. So if somebody wanted to move in here and live in it as a single family home, they could. If they wanted to, the current owner did have the foresight to run the plumbing up to the 2nd floor. If you wanted to have like an ADU, a kind of an in-law apartment up there, if you wanted to, have family members or whatever live there and collect a little bit of extra rent to help with the mortgage payment, or you can expand, get together with your architect and general contractor and expand on the property with the proper permits and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You're a developer and you're tearing it down and building something, whatever you want to build.
Yeah.
Between the live-in owner and the single family developer and the condo developer, they're all going to have a different price.
They're all going to have a different price because the outcome is going to be a little different, right? Depending on how they start. So audience members, while there is that song from a musician called Jessie J, and I think the title of her song is about, what is it? It's not about the price tag. Well, let's take a look at the outcome of what you can achieve with a property like this. A much larger urban lot. That's what I think I'm hearing from you, Rick. Let's take a look at this one, right? This is a possibility, correct?
Yeah, and the possibility is probably larger than this house, given the zoning.
Exactly.
But it's a good example to kind of put things in perspective.
Yeah. So, audience members, we're calling out to you. Yes, all of you young IT entrepreneurs, if your stock options have fully vested, you're sitting on a bunch of dough, and you want to live in Roscoe Village neighborhood of Chicago, this could be calling your name. And if you can't afford it all by yourself, like you see in this image, well, you can rally a group of your young IT entrepreneurs, all with their stock options vested, and you can do a multi-generational living thing.
Yeah, and you're really buying into the equity of the opportunity.
That's right.
I mean, chances are values aren't going to go down. Yeah. Right. So there's a lot that you can do with this property, and the size of the lot's not going to change. Right?
Yeah.
So
exactly. The size of the lot is not going to change. Real estate is a long game. You buy and hold, right? You buy and hold. Yeah. This
owner bought in 93.
Yeah, there you go.
It's not timing the market, but the time in the market, and it's a good purchase, let's say.
Yeah, and his life event is telling him, whispering in his ear, "I'm ready for my next chapter." So Rick, let's make this happen. There you go. Okay. So Rick, we're cheering you on, buddy. We're cheering you on. Okay,
it's been an experience, months in the making.
All right, so as we now shift to kind of the second half of our live stream, I want to play a game with you. I think we've done this before, so you are always up, Rick, for my very impromptu games. Because guess what?
I'm going to mess up the answer.
Well, it's because you're always kind of prepared, right?
Yeah.
All right, so here is the game for today, audience members. And as you listen to what I'm about to drop, like this beautiful woman, listen in, here we go. So Rick, the game today is true or false. The game today is true or false. Which is more important? I'm going to help you out. Is credit much more important than income? True or false?
When getting a mortgage?
Doing anything. I'm going to generalize it.
I think cash talks. So I'm going to say income is much more important than credit.
Bingo. Credit is not more important than income. Cash talks, revenue talks. I mean, and the reason why, when you ask me, well, is this about getting a mortgage? And I'm like, no. This is general question. I wholeheartedly believe income, revenue is so much more important than credit. Can I pivot and tell you why?
Please.
From my experience, Rick, as a mortgage professional, the people who are making good money, rolling in a lot of revenue, let's be real, their credit is probably rock star because they've got the freedom to pay things off when they want to. They have probably lenders, banks tripping all over their feet to lend them money. Don't you agree?
Yeah, they're going to increase their limits, and people want to hang out with people who have money.
That's right. And the old cliche is when you're rolling in money and you really don't need to borrow money, people are like knocking at your door. I want to lend you money.
Yeah. Or asking you for money.
Or asking you for money. Yes. So true or false, you nailed it, spot on. Cash is king. Income is so much more important. Revenue is so much more important. Think about it in the context of when you may be selling or buying a business. Who wants to buy a business where they're not making money? That's a problem, right?
Yeah.
All right. And I'll wrap up with this as well. For all of you who are scratching your head because you don't believe what I just said, you disagree with me and Rick. So you're like, all right. So I'm going to ask you to think about this. How many people you know who may have whispered in your ear, I'm a little concerned about my credit. It's not rock star. Well, usually if you ask one more question, it's because their income is kind of running in a different direction than their lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Real simple. All right. So thank you for playing the game of today, our impromptu game. What else would you like to talk about as we wrap up our live stream today?
I was thinking, because the spring market has definitely heated up as the weather's gotten warmer, even though it's spotty.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are looking at their notifications from their landlords saying, "Hey, guess what?
Sure.
The rent's going up." And a lot of renters that I've worked with in the past are calling me, or new leads are calling me and saying that I'm looking for a place to stay in this budget. And usually what they're coming at me with is can be found on the corners of Good and Luck. It's you're not going to be able to find a studio in most neighborhoods on the north side of Chicago for $800 anymore.
That's right.
Unless it's like a storage locker that you want to rent. But
yeah,
it is it's an interesting market, both sales and rentals. And there's people struggling across the board economically. And when people are looking at their lease renewal, and instead of saying, "Hey, can I afford this?" or "Hey, where can I move to that's going to be less?" maybe they should start thinking about, maybe I should finally buy something. If you're buying in certain neighborhoods, if you're buying real estate, chances are, especially in Chicago, the equity is going to go up after a few years, right? Each year is going to go up a little bit. And after, probably in this market, I would say definitely after 3, after 5 years, you'll have enough equity for it to make sense to purchase now. Even though the rates are so high and prices are going up, then prices aren't going to go down. Rates will hopefully go down. But if they should start thinking about potentially buying something, and with that, they're either reaching out to a realtor to connect them with a lender, or they're trying to find lenders. And a lot of people are shopping online. And most people are looking for the best rate possible.
Of course.
I don't think, in my experience, I don't think the best rate is necessarily equates to the best lending experience. Or the most experienced lender. So for those buyers out there, prospective buyers out there, what questions should they be asking the lenders that they're talking with? Hopefully they're reaching out to you so they can ensure a good experience from start to finish. But what are some questions that some key questions that they should be asking their lender, besides what rate can you get me?
Yeah, I love that. I'm going to answer that question. Here we go. You ready? All right. I think the first 2 questions they should ask their lender is this: what is or will be my maximum purchasing power? What is and will be my maximum borrowing ability? Those are 2 important questions that I have discovered a very small segment, less than 20% of potential home buyers think to ask themselves, and then think to ask their chosen lender. And you're absolutely right, because consumers, buyers, they're trained on asking the most obvious question, which is, what rate can you quote? It's almost like, well, what's the price of gas?
Go look outside.
Well, go look outside. Not to mention, well, let's talk about what kind of gas you need. If you're driving a luxury vehicle, you probably need premium. We both know that price tag is up there, right? Now, what I've come to realize is it is all about what consumers, what potential buyers can afford. And that's why those 2 questions are so important. Now, I'm going to add 2 more to it. 2 more important questions. So when a buyer is starting a conversation with a lender that they chose, that they trust, see, that word is so important. It has to be a trusted conversation. The relationship has got to be built based on trust. So once the lender can answer your question, well, John Doe, I believe your maximum purchasing power is X. your maximum borrowing ability is. Why? The next two questions are so important. How much money, in addition to what I have, do you think I need to be able to do that? Buy at the maximum, borrow at the maximum. Now, notice how I'm saying this. The maximum purchasing power, maximum borrowing ability simply sets a line in the sand as to what you can do. It doesn't mean you have to do that.
Yeah. You gotta do what you're comfortable with at the end.
You got to do what you're comfortable with. And so these are three questions. These are three questions that are most important. The fourth one is this. This one is what I call, let's work from your end goal. Let's work from your outcome backwards. Yeah. And that is time frame. If your time frame is, I need to buy, I need to make a move, or I need to get to a new rental by or before August, that's an important question that has to come up. Why? Because I'm going to do a mic drop moment here. For a lot of my clients, a lot of my friends who know me, you've heard me say this before. So if you're watching this live stream, if you're watching this as an on-demand recording, I hope you will give me a nice smile virtually and or a chuckle. And that is this. I'll pre-approve you faster than you can find that home you want to buy. Yeah. Yeah. And the reason is because, Rick, you and I have worked together. You know what I'm about to say next. What consumers, what buyers sometimes tell us they want and what they buy is like a 180 story, is it not?
Yes, and I would like to add here. Well, number one, don't call Bill when your lease expires next month, right? you need time to find something. Yeah. That's part of the conversation I have is like, when's your lease end? Right. I certainly have helped home buyers who are in the middle, like they just renewed because they needed to, and then they just thought about, I want to buy something. So I have helped buyers who are existing or current renters get out of their current leases, helping the landlord find a new tenant so they can break their lease legally and just not have to worry about that. But I would say prospective buyers out there, when you are talking to Bill, an important conversation to have with your lender is explore all options because again, in most parts of the Chicagoland area, even if you're pre-approved for $300,000. It may sound like a lot of money, but when you want to buy a single family home, you're going to be looking at properties, again, for the most part, across the board, looking at properties that need a lot of work. That may not pass an inspection because it's just not habitable and stuff like that. So that's right. If you're in a quote unquote lower price point, then and you could fill in some blanks here, but I would say, I know you want to avoid the HOAs and all that stuff, but perhaps consider the condo or townhouse. Perhaps consider, if possible, if you've got enough for a down payment, that 2 flat. I know you don't want to be a landlord, and a lot of people don't, but it may be a better option for you to get into home ownership because the longer you wait, like we mentioned earlier, the prices are going to keep on going up. They will. They will keep going up. Get into home ownership, and it's just it's a stepping stone to your next big move. It may not be your dream home, may not be your forever home, but it'll help you get there. Yeah, you got to start somewhere. Yeah, and you got to know that your first home is not going to be your forever home. You got to start somewhere. You got to get on the train that's kind of moving, and sometimes it's moving pretty fast. So, Rick, you said it perfectly. Consumers, buyers, renters. Those of you who are staring at your compelling event, you've got a decision to make about renewing a lease. Maybe you've made the decision. I don't want to do that anymore. I want to be able to buy. Or you're relocating to Chicago. That happens more than we know. For every person that's leaving the land of Lincoln, there's someone moving back. Or 2 or 3, yeah.
Right, 2 or 3, right. Yeah. So here is what I'm about to tell you. There's no better time than now to start your journey. Your journey has to start with this. Assemble and build your team of real estate broker, your lender, and all of the other team members that are available to help you move down the field, to score your touchdown, to help you get to your goal. And these relationships are priceless. They must be priceless for you, because when they are built on trust, not only will you get to your outcome in a timely fashion, but you'll get there with so much less stress.
Yeah.
Maybe along the way, you'll have fun with it as well.
Yeah. That's
right. All right. So audience members, now that I've piqued your interest, now that I've suddenly dropped your call to action, you're thinking, well, how the hell can I get a hold of the two of you? Well, that's simple. All you have to do is simply scan the QR codes that you see here. Audience members, yes, I'm sharing this with all of you. And as Rick and I end today's live stream of Real Living in Chicagoland, Music Posse, let's play us out. Rick, you have a great Thursday. Here we go.